What's up, fight fans? Welcome to Mr. Mustache MMA News. Today, I want to discuss last Saturday's UFC 315 in its entirety. But before we get into it, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to continue getting more MMA content by yours truly and help the channel grow. All right, guys, getting right into it. Last Saturday, UFC 315, it was quite the event. There's a lot of talk saying that the future of the UFC was in danger because of this event. There was all these talks about ticket sales, and which was true, right? There was apparently like half the event was not sold out. A lot of it has to do with ticket prices and the UFC outpricing themselves and whatnot. But in this instance, there was a lot of talk with a lack of stars, right? That Bilal is not the champion that the UFC wants, and something big kind of needed to happen at this event. Well, starting from the beginning of this event, something big did happen and throughout. It was a phenomenal event from start to finish. Everybody showed out, winners and losers. And I got to say, you know what? Starting at the top, Bilal, remember the name, Muhammad. A lot of people joked about that nickname. They will fucking remember the name now, right? What a performance. What a fight. In loss, you gain traction. You gain recognition. Everything that Bilal has sought for throughout his entire career, he's finally got it. Now, it's weird that he's gotten it through defeat, but you know what? He gave the fans a show. He showed heart, grit, resilience, determination, championship willpower, had great moments of success throughout the fight. His hands looked good. His wrestling looked good. It was just Jack's night. The first two rounds, Bilal didn't mix it up really at all. And that definitely could have played a part as to how the fight played out early point wise, because Jack really looked comfortable in that first round. It looked like he was about to put Bilal away early. And you just saw good fight IQ as the fight played on. But Jack with those, when he's against I forgot what you fucking call it. But that scramble, that twist off the fence, oh man, he did that a couple times. That was just so fucking sweet to get off the pressure against the cage from Muhammad. I can't speak. I just woke up. But I also have to say, guys, on Saturday, I did take, I don't know how much mushrooms, but I filled my peanut butter sandwich with mushrooms. So the last three fights of the night were a little bit difficult for me. I was there, but it was a bit of an experience. It was the first time I'd ever taken psychedelics for a UFC event. Well, I microdosed once during the Mitchell and Ige event years back. But that was like a microdose. I took, I don't know, I don't think it was an eighth, but it was enough to where I was like, you could feel their energy. It was really intense. But I remember first two rounds, JDM, and then you saw Bilal start to mix it up later on into the third. And that's where the fight just got like real scrappy, dirty, bloody. Jack was taking some shots. Bilal was taking some shots. And just what I can say about this fight was just pure chaos, right? It was just from start to finish, that fight was fucking pure chaos. An instant classic title fight, instant classic fight for the history of the UFC, the history of the welterweight division. It was exactly what the UFC needed to keep things going and to show maybe we don't need these huge stars. We just need fighters and get away from the athletes and the point fighting and whatnot. We need fighters. And this type of matchup was perfect. With Bilal, just take a little bit of time off, bud. That was a lot. That lip was nasty. Guys, Google Bilal Muhammad's lip after the fight. That was a nasty, nasty cut. But JDM, obviously it's probably going to be Islam. What's going on at welterweight right now? All the people waiting. If JDM can get through Islam, which I think he will, I think he's going to get it done. I just think, if what Volk did to Islam that first fight, imagine what a guy who's naturally that much bigger is going to do. And he showed that he can handle the wrestling, right? He has the tricks up his sleeve to the scrambles to get out of those situations. Craig Jones, shout out, phenomenal coaching. And also shout out to being so fucking humble. Obviously, you're not going to take any of the credit, but you clearly have something going. You have something working here with that Dagestani wrestling. So impressive. Tip to the cap. But congratulations, JDM. Thank you. And new, right? And Bilal, Your name will be remembered. Thank you for a phenomenal fight and phenomenal performance, and I can't wait to see what you're going to do moving forward. Even though you did not get your first title defense, you were a champion. So, fuck yeah, right? All right, guys, next up we had, where are my glasses? It was Valentina, right? Yeah, Valentina and Manon, right? And I thought Valentina was just going to run through her, and you saw early on in the fight, it seemed to be that case. Valentina was just giving her the business. And then rounds 2 and 3, you saw Manon do exactly what she should have done. Fought long and strong. That's exactly what she did. She made the adjustments. She was catching Valentina coming in. Oh, it's hot. She was catching Valentina coming in. Made the adjustments rounds 2 and 3. And I'm like, oh, it's interesting. Like, if this was a 3-round fight, I think Manon got the victory here. But then Valentina made the adjustments in round 4, was able to go out there and adjust to the adjustments that Manon made, and did it slickly, phenomenally. It was a close fight, a lot of tension, and into that 5th round, very close. Manon did a lot, was working Valentina against the fence to kind of just get that control time and just kind of get the round. Didn't work. Valentina kind of got the damage of the 5th round. And we saw Ann Still by the end of that fight. It was a beautiful, beautiful performance by both women. Great fight. Both women showed heart, man. Championship ability to make several adjustments throughout the fight, throughout the rounds. It was a really, really good fight. Manon looked a lot bigger than what I expected against Valentina. I don't know. It might have been because Valentina fought with Nunes. I always think of her to be a little bit bigger in my mind. But, yeah, Manon looked big. She looked very big, and she used it very well. She was really able to utilize her length and her strength. Rounds 2 and so on, right? As for Manon, just take some time off, right? I don't know who she's going to fight next. But, she's, the clear #1 contender, right? Like, she's probably going to be that person. Like, she's going to fight Shevchenko again, probably in about 2 or 3 victories. If Shevchenko can get through Weili Zhang, I think that is something that but she did not really say that she was gonna take that fight right away. So Weili, she even came out and she was kind of snickering over at the victory of Valentina on a video. But I think that's the fight to make, But what are you gonna do, right? If Valentina doesn't want to fight the champion at a weight class below, she doesn't have to. If anything, she has a better resume than Weili. But that's the fight to make. You want to make a super fight, that's the fight to make. But I honestly feel, I don't know. Keep the divisions moving. Don't hold them up. I feel like the women's are finally starting to gain a little bit of traction, especially here with that last fight. But big victory for Valentina. I think Weili's next, because I don't really think there's anybody else who's truly the next contender there, aside from Weili. And as for Manon, just take some time off. I'm sure she'll get somebody lined up soon. But I think just that was a tough fight, 25-minute fight. Just take the time off and heal up, right? After that, Jose Aldo, Amin Zahabi. Oh, well, hold on. Before we get into this fight, during the walkouts of Valentina Shevchenko, I was tripping balls, right? And you guys know Tim Robinson, the comedian? Well, for whatever reason, while she's walking out all serious, her face morphed into Tim Robinson's face. And all I could see was like Tim Robinson on the little thing, like going down into the pool, the zip line. Like his look of determination was on her face during the walkout. And it fucking set me off. It was hilarious. But with this fight here, with Jose Aldo and Amin Zahabi, judging, not great. The fight was close, but the judging, not great. And I'm very happy for the performance that both fighters put on, but I still want to reiterate, why? Why did we even get this? It did nothing. They built Amin off of Jose's name, which was kind of the writing on the wall. That's kind of what the UFC does, right? If the legends want to continue, they kind of got to put away the prospects. Otherwise, usually the judges fuck it all up. We saw that with the Bautista fight. And it just, begs the question, like, we saw all the damage Jose took in that fight. That 3rd round was crazy. crazy, one of the craziest third rounds I've ever seen. He soccer kicked Amin Zahabi from one end to, from face to back, dude. Like, and then like you could tell like in round two, because I thought he round one, Jose, right? And then round two, you saw him kind of take off the gas a little bit. I was tripping, so I can't judge it all that accurately. But I remember being close. And then that third round, Jose was fucking him up. But then Amin ended it strong. And I always believe the way you end a round is more important how you start one. Like if you're end the round beating somebody's ass after getting your ass beat, well, what's going to happen if that round continued, right? Like probably you winning. So I always judge the end of the round a little bit more than I judge the beginning of the round, depending on what happens. And yeah, I don't know. I thought Jose won the fight, but I don't think he should have fought in the first place. I felt like it was just meaningless and only for the fans and only to save the card. And when you have a guy who's at his age, who has had the pedigree as he does, I think all that does is hurt his legacy. And at the end of the day, I saw a lot of fans complaining he didn't get a video or a tribute when he did his second retirement. Remember, second retirement. And this is not shade. But Jose has been inducted to the Hall of Fame. I'm pretty sure he had his video package done for him beforehand. But this man has already had his moment. That's why he started wearing the crown. I'm pretty sure he wore it to his Hall of Fame induction, right? Then continued to fight. Afterwards, came back, right? Probably to help sell some cards. And, you know, he's been given that why give him another video package? Why give him a second recognition after 3 fights where he didn't even, he looked good, but, you know, on wins and losses record, he kind of hurt his resume. And that's kind of where I mean, like, why even do this again? That's why the video package, because he's already been there. He's already had it. He's had the flowers. So, Jose, thank you, though, for everything you've given us and for this fight. But, you know, take care of yourself, man. You've given us everything that you've had to give us. We don't need you've given enough, man. You deserve your time to go relax. And seeing how you were not making weight, how much it affected you even during the walkouts, you could see it all over your face, man. So please take care of yourself, brother. As for Amin, holy shit. Resilience, I think, was the word that they were saying a lot. You showed it. I mean, scrappy as fuck. Survival. Like, most of those would have put anybody out. Like, he's looking better and better. He's no spring chicken. So whatever he's got to do, he's got to do it now. Marcus McGee, I think it'll be a great fight. You got two of the older dogs who are kind of just breaking through. Maybe they go through each other to see who goes to the next tier, right, of contendership. I think would be good. But Amin Zahabi, congratulations on your win. I think we should be shitting on the judges and not on the fighters because he had a great performance. Next up, Alexa Grasso, Natalia Silva. Natalia Silva got the victory. I don't remember the fight. This is when the shrooms kicked in, and I don't remember the fight. So I do remember Grasso marching forward like I thought she would. I remember Silva doing her lateral movements like I thought she would. I saw both women finding success. But Silva got her hand raised at the end of the day. But I can't speak any more on that. I didn't watch the fight. Things got very weird and fuzzy at that moment, and I had to take 15 minutes to myself. Next up, BSD, Benoit Saint-Denis defeats Kyle Prepelic. I think that's how you say his name. By second round submission in a fight where, I mean, he was expected to just run through this guy, and he struggled. Early, it was like, okay, he might run through this guy. But then Kyle, he's a veteran. He really is a veteran. He's been in the UFC before. So he's able to slow the fight down a little bit. He's got tricks up his sleeve. So as BSD kind of went into berserker mode, we saw Kyle slow the fight down, catching him coming in and like hurt BSD on a few occasions. So then he eventually had to get the fight to the ground, and his strength, just raw ability, was able to get the submission victory. But after the fight, he called out Gamrot, and I like it, but call out the guy you were supposed to fight first, Joel Alvarez. Like, let's not forget, you had like a 6'3" lightweight you were supposed to be fighting with like a crazy arm reach who just put out Jakar Close in like the most violent manner. That is who he should be fighting next. But Gamrot, I think, the highest ranked opponent, makes sense, and I think would be a tough fight for BSD. So if they do make that fight, not mad about it. But I think we're leaving Joel Alvarez out of that fight, and I think he should still get that opportunity to fight BSD, because that would be a big victory if he could get it, and I think he would. All right, guys, moving on to the prelims, right? Holy shit. Mike Malott, however the fuck you say it, took out Charles Radke in just spectacular fashion. I had a prediction where I thought Radke's physicality, his size, would have made a difference in this fight. And, man, he didn't even have an opportunity. I mean, really, he didn't really pull any trigger. He was just stuck in the mud the second. I feel like he put so much pressure on himself. He's like, well, shit, now I got to perform. And Mike was already ready, warmed up, hot, just good to go on his bicycle, putting in shots. I think he had like a 4, 5, 6 strike little combination he threw at Charles at one point. Charles was stuck in the mud taking pictures, and Mike Malott completely took advantage of it and got a phenomenal knockout victory. And back. I think he's back. Now he's got 2 straight victories over Trevin Giles and now Chuck Buffalo. Now we start talking about putting Mike back against those guys who are ranked, right? You know, he failed the test against Magny. In the test that he was winning, just gassed out, right? It was completely gassed out. I think he gave Magny too much respect, and that he ended up paying later on in the fight. But now this is an opportunity where you keep Malott going. Now, I'm just spitballing here. Carlos Prates? He was 13 and lost. I think Mike Malott and Carlos Prates would be a phenomenal fight on a pay-per-view, on a main card. Just spitballing. As for Charles, just go back to training camp. You know, you put yourself out there. It didn't work. And I think that all you have to do next moving forward is just kind of put your head down, get back into training camp, or at least heal up, get back into training camp, get an opponent. Let's go. And that's about it. But he went out there against the rival crowd, did what he had to do to sell the tickets, but just unfortunately was just not able to get the job done. Next up, we had Jasmine Jasudavicius defeating Jessica Andrade. That was first round, wasn't it? It was. 2 minutes. Man, went out there, threw Andrade on the ground, just body slammed her, right? And that was a wrap. I wasn't sure how quick Jasmine was able to close the distance, or if she even would be able to close the distance, but the second she was able to wrap her up and just dump her, that was it, dude. She went to fucking work. She used phenomenal position control to just keep Andrade stuck like glue, and just kept her on the mat and just put on phenomenal ground and pound. And I mean, it was a phenomenal fucking victory. Now, was it a submission? It was a submission. It was the rear naked choke. And just looked great. Passed the test. And every single time it looked better and better and better. And now, putting away someone like Andrade, you can put her up against, you know, a rematch with Tracy Cortez. There's so much that you can do with Jasmine Jasudavicius. No, because she just beat her, right? There's a lot you can do with this girl. There's a lot you can do right now with Jasmine Jasudavicius. I think Tracy Cortez would be a great fight. There's Rose. You got Manon, who just lost. I'm just saying. But that would be a really good opportunity. I think I should just put my glasses on for the rest of this. I can't see for shit. That's right. All right, next up, Modestas Bukauskas defeated Ion Cutelaba in a controversial decision where I thought Cutelaba won the fight. I thought he won rounds. I think it was 1 and 2. And it might have been the third round that I think Bukaki got. But at the end of the day, what are you going to do? You can't leave it to the judges. Cutelaba, I mean, it's just a killer, right? That was a really good matchup, good fight, back and forth. Bukauskas really let the fight get past him in a lot of ways, where waiting for the big shot, trying to be too technical, and he thought he was winning the fight, which is why you saw in the third round he was just kind of not doing what he needed to do to get the victory, but still got his hand raised nonetheless. But I thought Ion won the fight. And it's tough, too, because Cutelaba, he's on such an inconsistent win-loss streak. But he always fights like the killers of the killers. He's always fighting the 1%. That was a tough one. That was a tough fight to watch because you want to see... we're talking about this every week. The judging sucks. Like, there has to be a clear motive with these fucking commissions. They've got to be working with... Like, right? You guys know what I'm saying. And it just leaves me to beg the question, like, how can we fix this? We have the same judges almost every week, and they all suck. There's bias. Some of them used to train with some of these guys. They know some of these fighters. And that's tough because it is a small community, and you want people who know the sport, but if they know the sport, they're going to know some of these fighters. That's just how that works, right? It's kind of a small world. But something's got to be fixed with these judges because you're getting guys, careers, half their paychecks being taken away. You know, when things are close and you can't really decide for sure, that makes sense. It is what it is. Draws. I think there should be more draws within the UFC. You know, I don't think, sometimes there isn't a winner, right? But with Cutelaba, I thought he won the fight. Next up, Navajo Sterling versus Ivan Erslan in a fight where everybody thought Sterling was just going to kind of bust through Ivan in this fight. Struggled, had to make adjustments, got hurt on occasions, but then eventually was just kind of able to turn it on, make his adjustments, find his reach, find his length, really put on good counter striking, and was able to make Erslan pay rounds 2 and 3, right? Hurt Erslan at one point, dropped him at one point, and just found a good victory. And I think that was a good position to put Navajo in. He's going to don't rush him because he's got a nice name. He's got the look. He's got the style that you want to sell. But let's raise him the right way. And I think that starting out with Ivan here, the way that he performed only shows that you have to kind of go about this a little bit more methodically and patiently. Next up, Marc-Andre Barriault knocks out Bruno Silva with vicious elbows, man. What are you going to do? That was tough. The writing was on the wall. Bruno seemed to have a foot half out. It seemed like he just needed to get out there and perform. But unfortunately, it's a sport where you have dire physical consequences. I think they were going to cut him before, and they said, hey, we're going to give you one last shot. This is up to you. You are in control of your own destiny. And Marc-Andre went out there and hit him with some pretty nasty elbows up against the fence. Dropped Bruno. Looked like he fucking broke his skull. If you look in the slow-mo replays that they've been putting out there. He was out, too, for a while. Put him out on a stretcher. He did end up waking up. He was responsive. But let's hope that he just heals up well. Probably the end of Bruno. As for Marc-Andre, probably saved his job for sure. Big performance. Powerball. He got it done. But I just hope Bruno heals up quickly. Next up, Daniel Santos defeats Lee Jong-young in a barn burner. Back and forth. I mean, Lee had some moments very early on. Looked strong, right? Very strong opponent. Good striking. Good takedowns. But Daniel was fast. Marking him up. Making great adjustments. In that fight, back and forth, these dudes almost did not take a step back. Excuse me. Did not take a step back. And to start the card, it was phenomenal, right? They put on a great show. Both fighters definitely gained a lot of traction within this fight. But Daniel Santos, I mean, he is slowly kind of building himself up a little bit. And I can't wait to see what type of opponent they match him up with next. And last but not least, Beksat Almakhan knocks out Brad Katona. 30 seconds, about 1 minute into the first round. Brad, who was trying to kind of lunge in with these shots, was getting caught. He was getting lit up really quick. And Beksat hit him with this uppercut that was nasty. Switched stances. And then Brad kind of tried to go in again a little differently. But because Beksot switched the stance, he threw the same combo, but from the other side, and took him out. Beautiful knockout. As for Brad, seems like anytime he fights outside the UFC, he's like on fire. But in the UFC, I think all of his losses have been within the UFC. And I don't know if it's just the big lights, it's too much for him, or he's that level, right? He's right there, maybe fighting out of his weight class. He always seems to be kind of a tweener. I always thought of him more as a flyweight. But for Brad, I don't know, man. I'd like maybe one more shot. Maybe one more shot. And as for Beksot, we finally saw him get to kind of perform, right? He hurt Umar in their fight, and we kind of got to see him go out there with a full training camp, prepared against a tough opponent, and put him away quickly. But guys, what a phenomenal event. I mean, UFC 315 was great. I think it was everything that the UFC needed to show that they don't need A++ names to put on a good event. They just need to make sure that they are filling the cards out correctly. And if they do that and they put on a good main event, styles make fights at the end of the day. Yeah, it was a fun event. Those last few fights for me were a little interesting, but I held it together. But guys, that's going to do it for today. If you're still listening, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button to continue getting more MMA content by yours truly. But guys, that's going to do it for today. Mr. Mustache, MMA News out. Let's fucking go, fight fans.